Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of First Look Final Word, podcast where we take you along to see a movie with us. I'm Pete.
And I'm Trevor. What's going on, you working class gents with secret black op skills?
Yeah, is it Black Ops? I feel like counter-terrorism or something? I don't know, some sort of mad skills.
Today we're seeing A Working Man by David Ayer.
Okay.
Re-teaming up with the Stath after Beekeeper.
There you go.
Levon Cade left behind a decorated military career in the Black Ops to live a simple life working construction. But when his boss's daughter, who is like family to him, is taken by human traffickers, his search to bring her home uncovers a world of corruption far greater than he could ever have imagined. I love how they just have to get in like, you know, she's important to him. Like,
yeah, that was very detailed. I like that.
All right, so if you are new to the podcast, just joining us because you're a huge Jason Statham fan, Pete and I, we're literally going to drive to the theater and then watch the movie, then give you our immediate reaction to the movie after we start driving back home.
Yeah, we're legitimately inside a vehicle right now. You might hear indicators and flickers and hopefully not oncoming traffic like smashing into us, but you know, it'll happen one day.
We're saving that for like sweeps week.
Exactly. No, so yeah. How do you like this one, Trevor? Are you looking forward to this one? You're a big Stath guy. You like the Beekeeper, all those things.
Well, I think Jason Statham is the perfect action star to have on in the background while you're like building a bookshelf or something like that. Like,
yeah, like this, the descriptions of this movie, I was like, yes, that sounds like a Jason Statham movie, which in my opinion, like have very widely varying different types of quality. So there's really, really good Jason Statham movies and there's terrible Jason Statham movies, and they basically have the similar plots. So I think it really depends on who's behind the chair and who wrote it for which. Yeah. Which I like the Beekeeper though. Did you see the Beekeeper?
I love the Beekeeper. I'm sad I didn't get to see it in theaters because that sounds like
that's true.
A pretty good show.
Yeah, I'd be into seeing the Beekeeper on a big screen. But yeah, this one sounds very similar. It's just a guy with a hidden past trying to just live his life, gets pulled back in.
Well, yeah,
I mean, not breaking new ground with this type of story.
Statham has kind of entered into a new part of his career where...
Do you think he's in Jerry action yet? Is he old enough for that?
He's basically where Liam Neeson was.
That's what I mean. Like, that's kind of kicked off
2008 or whatever,
kind of like
right?
Taken was the start of the Jerry action.
But like, I'm sure like Neeson was probably in his late 50s when he was doing that,
How
right?
old's Statham now, though?
He's 57. I looked him up
Jesus,
today.
Is he? Oh my word.
But like, he's looked the exact same for 30 years. Right?
Like, I still think of him in like Lockstock or whatever. Was it Lockstock he was in?
Yeah. Well, he was still like clinging to his hair back then, right?
He was trying. Yeah. No, but yeah, oh man, I didn't realize he was that old. But yeah, I guess he is Jerry action.
He's just been around for a while, right?
Yes, he does it very well.
So I saw that this film was written and like it was initially produced by Sylvester Stallone. I don't know if Stallone was thinking of this as a project for himself, and then
I heard
kind of just pivoted.
I heard that he was initially developing it as a TV show. Because it's based on a book, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a book series.
A book series with this guy. So even though it sounds like every other guy that he's played, it's apparently a specific character from literature.
Well, do you think that they're going to acknowledge that he's British in this one? Because I don't think they did in Beekeeper at all, right?
They usually just have like a throwaway sentence, right? Where like, oh, that's an interesting accent. Well, wasn't the one? Was it the Transport, or was it one of those movies where he did try and do an American accent?
I can't remember now.
I feel like it might have even been like the Transporter 2 where he changed it up and tried to do an American accent, and they just like, you know what, just go back to your regular one.
I don't.
Or maybe it was, what's the Chev Chelios ones? Chev Chelios. Where his heart can't stop.
Oh, is that Crank?
Crank,
yeah.
That was it. I think that was Chev Chelios. I just remember he always has an amazing character name.
Yeah, like you
like what was this one you just read? I'll have to look it up because I was like, yeah, that sounds like a...
Levon Cade?
Yeah, there you go.
And yeah, of course, he was in Expendables, like all those movies, and then all the Fast and Furious.
So good in Expendables, they made him a good guy. Which, I'm talking about
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious, yes. No, Expendables was the other one, right?
Yeah, and like I haven't watched those movies, but from what I've heard,
you've never seen an Expendable?
No, sorry, wow. Fast and Furious.
Oh, okay. We're getting confused between these franchises here. Yes, we've talked in the past about your lack of interest in the Fast and the Furious movies, but he was really good in that.
Well, but I've heard that his turn to being like a good guy that's accepted by the group basically makes no sense.
It makes no sense. But I mean, we could spend this whole podcast talking about things that make no sense in those movies. But yeah, he's literally like the main bad guy, like literally murdering close friends of theirs, and then the next move, like, oh, you know what, we'll bring it back because the fans loved him so much.
Well, it's like, yeah, sometimes you waste a great actor on a
on a great villain role. Yeah, but you know what? If that happens, just bring him back. No one's going to argue with you.
Yeah, and then of course I love both Meg movies. I think those are really fun.
I haven't seen either Meg movie, and I don't know why.
I think like you can basically get the movie from the trailer, but it's just nonsense fun.
Okay. I've got a quiz question for us. I've been trying to look it up, that's why I was distracted.
Okay.
So I want to see if you know the answer to this question, because I did not know the answer. So this is not the first time Jason Statham has led a movie written by Sylvester Stallone. Do you know the other one?
The Expendables.
No.
He didn't write The Expendables?
Well, he like heading it up as the main actor by himself.
Okay. Death Race?
No.
Okay, what is it?
It was the movie Homefront.
Homefront. I don't know if I know that one.
I don't think I've seen it either. But it's got James Franco as the bad guy in it. He goes up against James Franco.
Oh, man.
But he's a former DEA agent who moves to a quiet town and gets tangled up with the local meth drug lord.
Yeah.
So basically the same movie. But no, I might have to look that one up, because I didn't even realize that Stallone was like writing movies that people were starring in.
Yeah, like I guess he's never stopped thinking that he's like an Academy Award like nominated screenwriter.
Well, this one might be it. Well, I'm guessing probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. Well, I'm just sort of expecting like a solid action movie. Maybe kind of rinse the taste of Snow White out of our mouths from last week.
Oh dear. Like speaking of, I feel like from what I've seen online, they're trying to just like heap all the blame onto Rachel Ziegler for that not doing well, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, it seems like the acting is sort of the least of that movie.
Well, even
problems.
like her, not even her acting, just like her
social media presence.
Just her general tank in the movie. I'm like, I don't think that was the problem with that movie, guys.
No,
like I did not know any of that going in, and that was not why I did not like it. But anyway, we don't need to rehash our Snow White review. You can look at last week's episode if you want to know more about that.
Yeah, truly a disaster movie. So I would definitely check out our review of it.
Nobody kicking anyone in the face, which I'm hoping this movie will have, because that always makes it better.
I'm trying to think. Maybe not.
Do you think someone got kicked in the face in that movie?
I don't know.
A dwarf might have got a boot to the face at some point. They all needed one.
They needed it. And you know what? A kick in the rear end too. So maybe we'll see some of that today.
No, I'm looking forward to this one though. It's like you say, there's nothing wrong with a big dumb action movie. I love them.
The bigger, the dumber, the better.
I'm wondering if this will be the start of a new franchise though. I'm sure Stallone wants it to be, but
well, that's what I saw. That like this one, it ended up getting picked up because they had him signed on for multiples if this one does well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really going to do well. Like it doesn't seem to be.
You never know.
I don't see a lot of people talking about it, but you never know. It might be a bit too close to taken in John Wick. That sort of thing.
And that's kind of my thought. I was like, they're going to now just try and get a franchise out of this. I feel like he's been playing this character for 20 years. He could have had a franchise already, but I guess you can't really have him like the same character. Be like, oh, and now he's fighting a giant ancient shark, and now he's a beekeeper. It's like, well, that.
Yeah, he's sort of just a franchise to himself.
He basically is, right? Like, it's just a new Jason Statham movie. That's all anyone thinks. That's all they expect, and that's exactly what they'll get. But no, I'm interested to see how this script turns out, though. Because is he the only credited screenwriter on this?
Him and David Ayer.
Oh, okay. Did they work on it? All right.
I don't think they worked on it together. I think
I'm sure he just brought
handed it off at some point.
Can you shush this up a bit, please?
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, we do have a lot to talk about.
That's true.
Aardman related.
We should get into our other stuff. Yes.
For those of you who don't know, or maybe just need a reminder, Pete and I have been undertaking a large project to watch every Aardman film. And
short film.
We're nearing the end. This is our second last week.
Yes.
Doing this. Did you want to provide a hint of what we're doing next?
We can do. Did we decide?
Well, let's maybe table that then.
Yeah, let's maybe just like, we don't want to promise movies that the end up can't see in, because that would be a terrible thing to do.
Okay.
Again.
So yeah, today we're talking. So the main feature is Shaun the Sheep Farmageddon. But there's also a lot of shorts we watched this week because we're just ticking off all the shorts.
When we said we'd watch all the shorts, I didn't really realize how many that would be.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Which makes sense. They're animation studio, but they pumped out quite a few short films.
I just wish they would be like a little more conservative with what they called a short film.
Yeah, like a 2-minute little like animation test is not. I wouldn't really call a short film, but
I did enjoy that. But I'm like,
yes, that's me too.
I don't really think that this is a film, but
no,
more like a proof of concept. It was very cool.
Well, I mean, I guess like what's the criteria for what's the Oscars criteria for a short animated movie? Does it have to be a certain length?
I don't think it has to be a certain length. I think it just has to play in a theater for a certain amount of time.
Fair enough.
Because really, then like anything on YouTube can be a short film now.
Well, that's what I mean.
And some like YouTube creators call their stuff short films, which I'm like,
right.
I don't know. Come on.
But like, do they actually play them in movie theaters though? Like
they do. Like companies who are going for the Oscar short will like rent out theater space to do it in.
Fair enough. I always find those rules just so weird and arbitrary. It's just like, I mean, I get there has to be some sort of rule, like you say, you can't have every single video on YouTube be up in contention. Although some of them are probably quite good.
Some of them are definitely better than the ones that get nominated for Oscars. I can tell you that. I most years I go and watch the short film program. And,
right.
Sometimes you see a gem, and then sometimes you're like,
what is this?
I guess like this is a short movie that they threw a lot of money behind, right? So that'll get it a nomination. But like, if this is supposed to be one of the 5 best short films of the year, then obviously good short films are not being made.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to rehash our Oscars conversations, but it's not necessarily the best one that wins. All right. So where do you want to start? You want to start?
No, your choice. Like,
let's talk about the shorts first. Then we'll knock them out of the way. So there was a few different shorts. Like we said, quite a few tiny little ones, and a couple of like
Dot and
like those.
Was it Gash or what was that one
called?
Gulp? That's it.
Yeah, they were the two that they did on like the Nikon or Nokia or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, the Nokia N8 or whatever, or Nokia to our UK fans.
It looked really good.
It looked amazing. And did you notice at the end of that dot one, it said it was a record for the smallest stop animation character? Because when you actually saw it, it was like, Jesus, that is tiny. Like, how do you even do that? I don't know. Like, that's some skill that I will never understand. Like, stop animation already feels like magic to me when you see people doing it. But doing something on that sort of scale where you're literally taking tweezers and moving it around, and for it to look that decent, it was like, wow. It looked like a video game.
Yeah, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
And then, the one short I really want to talk about was the Pirates one.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Was that like? I'm assuming that was like bonus features on the Blu-ray or something.
I think it was a DVD or Blu-ray feature.
Yeah, it's got to be, because it had like all the voice cast and
it had everybody, like, but it wasn't available on YouTube.
It wasn't like a TV show or anything. It was definitely something that was like extra features.
But it also made me so sad because there's this rich catalog of pirate films which we did not get to see because that movie was not a success. Like, everyone was clearly into doing them.
Right, and they were so much fun. Yeah, go back and listen to our Pirates review episode because it's my favorite Aardman, I think, at this point.
My second favorite, but a hidden gem.
Yes,
definitely.
It's a great movie.
And I thought the short.
So what did you think of the shorts? Yeah, I like the how they structured it. Where it's like a late night talk show hosted by the pirate cats,
and everything came together at the end, and with a great song.
Yeah, no, I was kind of loving that, and I do love that they just stick with the names of the pirates, like just like descriptions of them. Like what's the big pirate called? Is like
loves kittens.
Yeah, it's like stereotypical large pirate, but loves kittens or something. It's like such a staff name. So, but yeah, no, they were great. They were fun.
And then there was some Shaun the Sheep stuff this week.
Yeah,
obviously, like it's the first time that I had seen
the llamas,
the llama one,
llamas for farmers or farmers for llamas or else. Yeah, that was interesting. we've done a lot of Shaun the Sheep this week, but I didn't get around to actually watching the Christmas one. I know that you've mentioned that before.
I saw that one at Christmas time. It's really, really good.
Yeah, that was the one I was hoping to get to, but I just ran out of time.
And it's just stuff like, obviously, because Shaun the Sheep loves doing this, like just stuff with cultural references.
Right. Yeah.
So definitely check that one out next Christmas.
A lot of Christmas references.
Yeah, like Home Alone's kind of the main thread that they pull through there. But there's a great Back to the Future Part 2 gag in there that I absolutely love.
I'm definitely going to have to watch it then. And I do love Christmas, so I hope maybe it'll get added to my Christmas rotation.
Yeah, and I like the llama one too. I thought it was interesting that, basically they bring 3 worse versions of Shaun.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that. It's like, I feel like they do that a lot. They do that a little bit with Farmageddon as well. It's like, we'll just bring in somebody who's even worse than Shaun that he has to like put up with.
And Shaun's just like loving it for the whole time. Yeah, and then he's just like, well, okay, guys, like, I have fun, but then I just sort of relax. So that you got to let them win sometimes too. Yeah. And then that's how you play the game.
I feel like that's like a lot of Shaun the Sheep movies and stories kind of go that way, where it's like Shaun's kind of, I'm mischievous too, let's get into it. Then he gets to the point, it's like, you guys are too mischievous. Like, we need to wind this back in.
All right, guys, there's
like, we don't actually hate the farmer.
There's a balance here. Like, we're not trying to kill him.
Yeah, come on, guy, what are you doing? I feel like that happens a few times, but no, those llamas were jerks, man.
I was when I was watching that, I was thinking one could watch this thinking that these llamas are immigrants and they're coming in and ruining British society.
You always take it to the deep level, man. I didn't even think that.
But they're obviously from Peru.
These foreign llamas coming in, ruining our farms.
They're just like coming, causing a ruckus. They don't fit in.
Yeah, true.
They're just wrecking everything, and then we ship them off at the end.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Just get rid of them.
Just like I'm gonna give the folks at Aardman the benefit of the doubt. But that movie also came out right around the time Brexit was ramping up, right? So I'm like, there's a certain way to read this.
I didn't make that connection, but you know what? Yeah, I can't argue with what you're saying. Especially because like the bad guy in that is like skinhead, red suspenders. He looks a little bit alt-righty.
Yeah.
And he's the one that kicks him out at the end.
Yeah. So, but, I certainly still enjoyed it. Lots of good gags around there.
It's a fun storyline. I was never really... Shaun the Sheep I was never really into. Like, always loved Aardman, but Wallace and Gromit was my go-to with them. And obviously the Pirates movie I've said I love so much. But Shaun the Sheep I was a bit like, yeah, I get it. I always sort of just assumed it was skewing more younger and like, no dialogue, that kind of thing. But I think that was more because of the TV show. I was like, I don't really want to get into a kids TV show, but it's actually decent. It's really like I've really been enjoying like catching up on the movies and that, and like it's got some good stuff in there, man. Some, like you say, lots of like cultural references and just great gags.
The thing I really appreciate about Shaun the Sheep is they really think through all the gags and try to make them have like a connection,
right?
And like you're building towards something, and it's not kind of just random nonsense happening all the time, like which it could be. Like,
definitely,
so there's like thought into everything that goes into it. At least like for the shorts and the features that I've seen.
I think they really do a great job as well of just like telling the story, like showing, not telling, in terms of like letting the visuals tell the story versus like spoon feeding you plot. Not that other Aardman stuff does that, but I just think like it could be pretty ham-fisted when it's trying to like explain what's going on because the people aren't talking, but like they do a really great job of just making that sort of natural.
Well, it's sort of the exact opposite of Early Man, where it's a lot of exposition thrown at you.
Exactly, yeah. Poor Early Man.
So
although I did want to say, I think it was the llama one, right, where they do have a game of football.
Yeah.
In the middle. I was like, I kind of like that scene better than Early Man soccer
It was a really good game of football, right? So
it's like, they should have had more of this in Early Man.
They had a lot going on. Like, one of the sheep is tying its cleats.
Yeah. They like had some skills. Those llamas had some pretty good ball handling skills.
Well, seriously, and they weren't really playing dirty, right? They're just
having a good game.
And frankly, I think the sheep need to work on their fundamentals. They're really just all charging towards the ball at the same time.
Yeah, well, sheep, not really.
But Shaun,
known for their sports prowess.
Shaun's cheering for the llamas there.
I know. What's he doing? Well, he's on their team, right? I think.
That's sort of how it was shaping out,
Yeah.
but I'm like,
that was when he was like still on their team, right? Even
he's
though they
like-
were being jerks to all the other sheep.
he's like, these guys are stinkers like me. I'm gonna hang out with them.
Right.
These guys are cool.
Yeah, it's the pitfalls of trying to hang with the cool crowd.
Yeah.
They destroy all your friends' beds for some reason.
Yeah, those guys were party animals, man. Like they gotta slow down.
Literal party animals. They even like made the pigs look like they were well behaved. Those pigs, man, they're horrible guys too.
So why don't we pause Farmageddon for a bit? We can finish talking about the rest of the shorts.
We'll get back into the shorts. Did you get to see the Robin one? Was it Robin?
Robin, yeah. I was like I had added the trailer to the YouTube playlist, thinking that was going to be the whole thing.
It's funny,
32-minute short.
Yeah, I totally forgotten that movie existed, and then when I looked up, I was like, Robin, what's this? And I watched that trailer. I was like, oh, I've seen this. I watched this when it came out with my kids and quite enjoyed it.
Oh, okay. Did you realize it was Aardman when it?
I don't know if I'm trying to think, and maybe I didn't. I don't know if I did realize it was Aardman because I feel like I would have remembered then. So I think I just watched it without knowing that. But I remember enjoying it quite a bit. I mean, that's like a Christmas story too, right?
Yeah, basically. And
Christmas Robin.
The materials that they're using in the animation is so interesting. It's just like a lot of fluff.
Yes. It's like almost like felty and stuff, right?
Yeah, and
fluff.
So like very unlike this other stuff that Aardman has done. Like I can imagine that keeping all that stuff together was a nightmare during production.
No doubt. It's like there's a gust of wind and it just like makes everything different. But like Fantastic Mr. Fox was like that, right? Where they just went into it, like every frame stuff's moving around on its own.
And they just had to not care about it, right?
It's like whatever. That was
part of the charm.
That's the style we're going for now.
But no, I thought that one was really good.
Yeah, it's a good one. But yeah, like you say, that was like a 30, 35 minutes or whatever. It's a proper short movie.
Kind of like not really breaking any barriers with that story line. Lots of sort of similar stuff to that, but I thought execution was pretty good. Yeah. Some really good voice acting.
Yeah, the voiceover was really good, wasn't it? Richard E. Grant was
Richard E. Grant,
so good in that.
Playing that like he wasn't a Robin. What was he like?
Was he like a raven or something?
Yeah,
some sort of big bird
that likes collecting shiny things or whatever. But he was great.
Magpie or something? I don't know. One of those birds.
Could be. That sounds about right. And Gillian Anderson playing the cat. So like I think that's some good casting there.
Right.
Like that's casting that's not going to break the bank either.
No, true enough, and yeah, they were both really good. So what else we got on the shorts list? Did you?
I want to know if you watched the Star Wars Visions.
I did. I watched that today, and I had in my mind that I couldn't remember it, but I was pretty sure I'd seen all of the Star Wars Visions when they came out. So I was like, did I just forget or just not realize that it was Aardman? And then I rewatched it today, and I feel like maybe I didn't see it because it's obviously Aardman.
Yeah, I didn't watch the second season.
I think that's what happened. I think I watched the first season and then just never got around to watching the second season, which is a shame because I like the concept a lot, but I think it didn't always hit in the first season. So I was a bit like, like I love the concept of just bringing in people to do their version of Star Wars in whatever style they like.
Just like being explicit that this is not canon. This is just like people having fun. Yeah. I like a lot of those. I like the Aardman one.
Yeah, I really liked it too. I even had like one of my favorite Star Wars characters in it,
Wedge
Antilles.
Yeah, he's running the flight school now,
hamming it up, trying to sell merch.
That's hilarious.
It's like that's what he got up to.
I thought this one was really cute. Like the evil mother-daughter characters, their hair just looks exactly like Darth Vader's helmet.
True.
And they have like a little Death Star on their
weapon is the little Death Star.
Shooting things at them was really funny.
Pretty amazing. Yeah, and I love that. Like it's funny, like when they used the Wookiee to say the curse words.
Oh yeah,
it's like she's such a total. He's like, I was like, are they trying to say she's like a see you next Tuesday in Wookiee talk? Yeah, I like that. No, it was like, what was that? Like 5 minutes or whatever, 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it's just a fun.
Maybe like 14 or 15 or something.
But so it was fun though. It's like
my kids really liked it actually.
Yeah. After my kid's a big Star Wars fan, and
then we played one after that because my son really wanted to watch some more. And then it was,
like more Vision.
It was super boring, and he like lost interest.
Well, that's the problem. Like I think that's what I meant when I said like I feel like some of them were really good and some of them were just kind of like and then there's a couple that were like, what is this? which is what you're gonna get when you sort of like do take creative swings on stuff. Which so I appreciate him doing it, but it's hard to, especially when to get your kids into it.
Well, Star Wars is just such an interesting property because to some people, like, this is just really cool, fun shit.
Yeah.
And then other people are like, this is the most serious thing in the world.
Yeah, a lot of people forget
And
that for kids.
my vision is gonna, reflect how serious of a universe this is. We have to take the philosophy and the religion of this stuff seriously. Which, like, to be fair, I do.
Well, yeah,
myself,
and
but
I will do that too. Like I'm here for it, but yeah, you got to remember that the 6-year-olds like it too.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
I enjoyed that one though.
are we missing any other the big shorts?
There was a few things here and there, but it was mostly like just little bits and pieces that they did. I don't think there was anything like of note. Like they did that competition with the girl and stuff. And
Yeah, and I would say that was not a movie.
no, it wasn't
that,
really. I mean,
that
it was cool to see.
That
like
was
they
some
did
good.
like a
That's some very good PR.
Yeah, like behind the scenes in the studio. This is how we do stuff. Like that was pretty cool. But that's a featurette. That's not a movie.
A featurette is a great way to describe some of these things.
So lots of, if you guys are interested though, there's lots of cool content out there. Search up Aardman stuff. There's tons of things they've worked on over the years. But yeah, in terms of like actual short stories, I don't think we're really missing anything here. Oh, I wanted to ask you actually, not to go too off topic. Have you had a chance to go back and see Angry Kid yet?
No, I was trying to find time today
because there was that trailer that we like. It was in the the shorts list, but it was just like I'm pretty sure it was just a trailer for their channel that was a bit more like older skewing.
Yeah.
What did they call it? I forget what they called it. It's like Aardman After Dark, but not exactly that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Adult Swim sort of thing.
And so they were advertising it, Angry Kid on that and some of the other stuff. But yeah.
Well, I had a bit of time like just watching TV with my son, and I was thinking about putting it on, but then I wasn't sure how mature it would be for him.
Yeah, I don't think it's that mature. It's just more silly.
He just looks like such a brat. I'm like, I don't know if I want to put this up.
Yeah, we can't be lauding this kind of behavior. This kid is angry.
But you think it'd be fine? I gotta catch up on that one for sure.
I mean, he might not think it's that interesting. It's more just him sat talking, doing silly stuff. But
you know what we're not gonna really be able to cover in this series is the Wallace and Gromit stuff that doesn't quite fit within either being a feature or short stuff, like their contraption,
whatever it's called, Fabulous Contraptions or something.
Have you watched that?
I have actually. I've seen them all. It's pretty good. I mean, they're very short. They're just like little 2-minute little clips.
Okay, well, why don't I'll watch that next week and we can have a bit of a chat on that.
Yeah, well, like we got a movie for next week.
Next week we're ending on Chicken Run 2.
Oh yes, Dawn of the Nugget,
which is going to be like kind of a anticlimactic ending to this whole thing. So
maybe we just make it like a roundup and we'll just talk about the stuff that we either didn't get around to watching first time or stuff we want to dig into a bit more maybe.
Okay, yeah, like a net episode.
Make it a free for all. Bring to the table some Aardman stuff that we haven't really dug into yet and we can chew the fat on it.
Are you wanting us to have like rankings at the end of this thing?
Like of the maybe we can rank the features maybe.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to get into ranking the short film.
There's like 42 of them.
We could do a Wallace and Gromit ranking.
Okay, Wallace and Gromit.
We'll noodle that one.
Every Wallace and Gromit project we can rank in addition to ranking all the features.
There you go.
I'm game.
Yeah.
I could do that right now.
Yeah, me too, but we haven't seen Dawn of the Nugget yet.
I think that's going to be my least favorite.
Even for Early Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen Dawn of the Nugget?
I have. I don't think I watched the whole thing. My kids had it on, so I was like in and out watching it. It was fine.
It's Zachary Levi,
yeah,
right?
Which kind of was a bit like,
yeah, bring Mel back. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm sure he just didn't want to do it. But it was fine.
I'm also just joking. Do not give Mel Gibson work.
Well, don't give Zachary Levi work either.
Well, I'm sure that they didn't know what his whole deal was.
Yeah, but no, I know what that didn't bring me out of it too much. He's fine. It's just a bit of it's one of those sequels that's like, do we need this? Like, what's the point? Like, it's no like Farmageddon. It's not pushing any boundaries or anything. It's just like rehashing stuff. Characters that I kind of didn't really care to see more of. They had their arc. Just let them live on the farm in peace, or wherever they end up on the island.
Well, it's the case with Farmageddon and a lot of these recent shorts, and then now like all the recent features are all through either Netflix or some other streaming partner.
Yeah.
Does that how do you feel about that as a long time Aardman fan?
Well, it's a tough one, right? Because on the one hand, it's like I want to see more Aardman stuff, so I'm happy that they're able to get these deals together and get the partnership so they can actually produce this stuff and like pay their people and keep the studio going.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is a bit like I'm sure they're just like we need to pump something out, so let's just do a Chicken Run sequel, which I'd rather they worked on something else. So it's one of those, right? It's a give and take because you kind of have to do it. It's like when directors like do one for them and one for me. It's like we got to do the one for Netflix so they can make a bit of money off us, so that then they'll fund us to do another Pirates movie or something, you know?
Right.
Like no studio is going to come in and just dump a bunch of money on a brand new Aardman IP. I don't think they're going to stick to Wallace and Gromit and sequels until they've made a bit of dough.
Yeah, well, it's tough. Like we've talked about in a lot of these episodes how Aardman has a lot of integrity, and they're not just going to do something that's like just to be like easily digested by an American audience. So like Chicken Run's the closest thing that they've gotten to like, well, it was like a huge hit in North America.
Yeah,
right?
it did pretty well, right? That was the first. That was the first one,
but it is still
first and only one, maybe though.
Yeah, like
was anything else hit in North America?
Rabbit did
I guess that was,
because like Wallace and Gromit are really respected in some circles here, but I think that's Flushed Away didn't do very well.
No,
Early Man obviously didn't do very well. Arthur Christmas I think was fine.
I always forget about that one. Shaun the Sheep I think was
Shaun
popular everywhere.
Well, Shaun the Sheep, it does have a universality to it because they don't talk.
No, even though they don't talk to, it's still very, very British.
Yeah, well, that's
super British.
That's where they've kind of been able to succeed without like giving up on their roots and their principles.
I guess so. It's like they took the Mr. Bean model of just don't have him talk, but make it super British. Yeah. Saying that to my kids today. I don't know if you ever played the game Brothers, Tale of Two Brothers or whatever, Tale of Two Sons, but they sort of talk the same way that they talk in Farmageddon. It's just like fake talking,
right?
Bunny boy, Bunny boy. It's like, what is that?
So do we talk about Farmageddon yet?
No, well, we touched on it, but we didn't really get into the nitty gritty of it.
Yeah, I had seen this one when it first came out, which I think was like
a while ago, right?
4 years ago or so now.
Yeah.
My daughter saw it, and she didn't remember it when I brought it up today for us to watch, as I just wanted like a refresh.
Well, that was kind of like where I was at because, like I said earlier, I wasn't really a huge Shaun the Sheep fan, but I remember when Farmageddon came out, I heard like a lot of scuttlebutt about how it was actually really great. So that was like, so I did watch that one. But like I said, I watched that before I'd seen any of the other Shaun the Sheep shorts or the first movie. I was like, I don't need to watch that.
Well, the first time it came out, we watched it, and there were so many references to E.T. that I convinced my daughter to watch E.T. afterwards because she liked it. She liked Farmageddon so much. And then she really liked E.T. But then now she's forgotten that she watched both.
There's so many references in this movie. It's actually insane. Like
everything that's right up my alley too.
Exactly right. Yeah. Like I was counting. It was like 2001 reference. There's a Jaws reference even in there.
Where's the Jaws reference?
When the alien is like when they go to the grocery store towards the beginning.
Oh yeah,
and he's in the freezer and he's like going like Jaws. It hits to Shaun. It does the trombone zoom from Jaws. I'm like, wow! Like they just did that just for people who like me who like know that that's a famous shot from Jaws for no reason because it's not like
it's like the reverse dolly shot or whatever.
Zoom. Yeah, it's like I'm like, yep. That's the scene from Jaws. I'm like, there's no reason for them to throw that in there at all, but they did just because they love that shit.
Yeah.
So do I.
And there's obviously Close Encounters.
Close Encounters. I think it even starts with a sheep playing that on the piano.
Yeah.
The new Aardman button.
And then obviously it's playing big into X-Files.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just crammed full of just references around that genre and other stuff as well. Like I say, Jaws isn't part of that genre, but there you go.
I feel like they just get ideas and just say like, okay, let's just go for it. Let's just do that. This would be a
It'd be
funny place
funny
to
if
do
we did
that.
this. Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's a movie that works really well. Like it just it hums along and the characters are fun.
Yep.
I don't know, like, what do we just call him, like the alien character?
Yeah, I was trying to think. Like, I don't know if I missed it, but I don't know if it ever has like an actual name.
Mimu or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
wonder
I
what
don't
it says
know.
in the credits. But maybe it's not even in the credits. I guess somebody had to do his voice. It's like zoom, zoom.
Oh, did you watch that one with your kids? Do they like
Yes,
that
I
one?
did. Yeah, yeah. They liked John Sheep. They've been big into it since I've been not making them, but I've been putting it on a lot this week. And yeah, they're although funnily enough, it's not something like they're like, yeah, let's watch that. But like as soon as you put it on, it just hooks them in.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's one of those things, right? It's like, and I think that's how I am with it as well. It's like, Shaun Sheep, yeah, I can give it, take it or leave it. I know the gist. He's just a sheep dicking around on a farm. But then as soon as it comes on, it's just like you find yourself just like watching him, like, oh, I'm getting into Shaun's antics and I want to watch it.
Well, Shaun the Sheep, he is a movie star. He can hold the screen.
Yeah. He's good at winking and giving the thumbs up, and he's even got like he's got catchphrases even though he doesn't talk.
I like that the aliens was like picking up on his catchphrase pretty early on.
Right? Yeah. No.
And just like the part where he's just like starts screaming at the other sheep is so funny. It's like, oh, this is a greeting.
Yeah, I love that. I love how they played with how you could just like copy any sound. Some of those are pretty fun. Just like perfectly.
But yeah, like just a fun movie, like very geared towards the kids.
It is, but as I say, like there's a lot of movies that are geared towards kids that just like don't try because you don't necessarily have to with kids, right?
Yeah, no, like case in point, Snow White.
Yeah, would you even call that a kids movie? Like I feel like it would just be terrifying or boring, both at the same time.
Yeah,
I don't think my kids would want to watch Snow White at all.
Yeah, I guess it's not really a kids movie, but I also then don't know who that movie is for.
Yeah, I don't know either, to be honest with you.
All right, well,
go on that happy note.
we don't have to keep going down that.
I know, right?
route.
I just keep giving a kick into Snow White. It's not fair, Trevor.
But I feel like this one's just going to be a super fun, light action movie. Like David Ayer, not the greatest director in the world, but he's certainly like he knows how to have fun. He doesn't get caught up by physics or anything like that.
Yeah,
in his movies.
Stupid things that were going to ruin it.
So I'm going in expecting it not to be as good as Beekeeper because I think this one probably was turned around pretty quickly to capture the momentum of that.
I don't know, man. I've got an open mind. I'm happy for this one to be good. I mean, I'd rather him go after trafficking rings versus like some weird call center just full of like white guys.
That's like run by Hunter Biden.
Yeah,
basically.
It's just so stupid that, but like, not that it matters, but you know, I'm open for this one to
I love it
to wow me. So
well, his boss's daughter is like family to him.
I heard, like literally like family. So he's gonna be really
right.
He's gonna be really motivated on this one.
It's great. Honestly, if this is just like a 2.5-star movie, that is perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sometimes we need those.
There's nothing wrong with a popcorn flick.
All right. Well, if you are new to the podcast, Pete and I are going to go inside and watch A Working Man. Then we're going to come back, give you a spoiler-free reaction before giving you plenty of warning before heading into spoiler talk.
Yeah, we won't tell you who he kills or anything.
Or if he kills anybody.
No, or if the daughter makes it out okay.
Oh, I assume she's dead from second one.
Oh, yeah, this could be a revenge tale, right?
Yeah. All right.
That'd be grim.
Wish us luck, everybody.
Yeah, don't go anywhere, guys. Welcome back, everyone. We just started out from seeing A Working Man. That's what it's called, right?
Well, they said A Working Man in the movie.
So I always think of that Family Guy scene where it's like, ah! Pointing out in the theater when someone says the name of the movie.
Superman 4, A Quest for Peace or whatever.
Yes. So, That was definitely a Jason Statham movie.
It was a change of pace too from Snow White last week.
Yeah, we haven't really done like a big action movie for a while. I don't think. Like, when was the last time we went to see people getting their heads caved in?
You know, uh, hard to think of. Like maybe Civil War is like the recent, like most actiony movie we've seen.
I guess we don't really go for the big action movies, but they don't really put them out in theaters. Is to be fair. Which,
yeah, like John Wick 4 just predates us starting the.
Yeah, we probably would have gone on that one.
Well, and I was thinking a lot of John Wick 4 and the John Wick franchise while watching this one
because there's a lot of similarities.
A lot of similarities, and you can really tell that this is sort of a poor man's John Wick, I would say. But I'm not saying like I didn't enjoy myself.
Destitute man's John Wick, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't really like this one. I'm going to be honest. It's funny we were talking about that because I was thinking about how we haven't really been to see many big action movies at the theater, and I was thinking well, it's probably because they mostly just go like straight to streaming these days. And like watching this movie, I was very much thinking like this could have just been on streaming. It don't really need to be seeing this at a theater.
Well, I noticed during the credits it said an Amazon production.
So maybe they're just putting it out. I don't know why they would put it out. But
I guess they're trying to make a bit of money back.
I mean, I guess so. It's got a lot of names in it.
Well, the thing I definitely noticed is that, they got David Harbour and Michael Peña, but those guys, like Michael Peña was just in 2 locations.
Yeah.
David Harbour was just in 1 location. Those guys got paid like $100,000 each to be on set for 2 days.
Work, yeah. And honestly, like I thought both of those characters just horribly miscast. Like you did not need those actors in that role at all.
No.
Like I love both of those actors, but like those roles were just so like anybody could have done that. And they didn't bring anything to it.
Well, yeah, when I saw David Harbour and the type of character he's playing, I don't want to give too much away.
Right.
But I thought, okay, this is setting up for a final action set piece where they're going to utilize this as
he'll be an important
this is a strength.
Yeah.
And then nope.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in this movie, to be fair, where you're like, oh, this must be going somewhere, and you're like, maybe it's actually not.
Well, even the fact that it's Michael Peña and it's his daughter who's being abducted.
Right. That's not a spoiler.
So it's not a spoiler. Well, you know that right from the get-go that that's going to be the girl who's being abducted. I don't think that's a spoiler.
It's like a daughter to Jason.
He's like a daughter. She's like a daughter to him. But anyways, like the fact that they are like a wealthy Mexican-American family is interesting, but the movie has nothing to say about that part of it. Because normally that like this type of person being kidnapped would not have been Mexican-American. I thought
that's true.
This is kind of an interesting change of pace. I wonder why they're going this route. And then you kind of just realize like, oh, they just got Michael Peña, and then they just recast his family kind of based off of that. Rewrote the character to be Mexican.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had nothing to do with it at all.
I did find it quite interesting how like when we were reading the synopsis coming up, it's like she's like a daughter to him, so he has to go rescue her. I was a bit surprised that he also had an actual daughter.
Yeah, no, that was very surprising.
I was like, okay, so she's like a daughter to him, but he also has a daughter that's also a daughter to him.
It's a bit too much going on, right?
Like where are your priorities at, my guy? I mean, understanding that you want to help out this girl is like a daughter to you, but you're pretty much putting your own daughter in a lot of harm's way here for no reason.
Well, I think that's a really good point, because if you look at a movie like Taken, that's his daughter. Okay, I'm going to go straight from point A to point B to try to get my daughter.
Nothing to lose. I'm putting it all on the line because this is all I care about.
Yeah. Man on Fire is like very similar to this sort of movie.
That's a good shout.
Like this guy has.
I kind of feel dirty comparing those movies. I love Man on Fire.
Man on Fire is a great movie, but like it should have been that. Like he literally like their family and their kindness is the only thing he has going for him. But like no, like
there's a whole other thing going on.
They're just like they make him like lunch sometimes. And they let him sleep in his car outside of the construction lot.
Yeah.
So it just makes it a little more messier and complicated than it needs to be.
Well, I mean, the whole movie I found was just kind of very cartoonish, but not even in a good way.
Well, I will say, he's really bad at what he does. Like
Absolutely terrible.
He's great at beating the shit out of people.
I mean, yeah, but there wasn't even really enough of that for me. Like,
they had a couple scenes on that, but yeah, like you didn't.
You got Jason Statham, and he's a guy going like balls out. I'm just going to annihilate everybody. Then that's fine, but he annihilates maybe half the amount of people. Well, I mean, without spoiling it, at the end there's a big scene where he annihilates a lot of people. But up until then, he's in like 2 fights, and I was like, really? I'd like to see more stuff happening here.
And like his plan to find the girl goes awry based off of his own ineptitude.
He's terrible, and like, yeah. I don't even think he has a plan, really.
Well,
he's like, I'm going to set up surveillance and then not question anybody and just kill him instead.
He had no insight into like what strings to follow, because there's actually quite a direct line to the girl in this, and he takes such a circuitous route to get to her.
That's true. And even the stuff that he does, kind of like when they show the scenes where he's figuring stuff out and he's investigating. It's like, it's the most blatant, obvious, like, you'd have to be blind to miss these cues.
Well, it is kind of funny because the movie sort of wants you to think that this is part of a big, huge, like organized crime conspiracy, but really it's just like it's just one fucking guy is like an offshoot of this bigger thing.
It's just a couple of people doing something stupid.
And like, unlike John Wick, which I think does a really good job of showing like a piece of shit son, but the dad is still protecting him. There's like no relationship between the dad and the piece of shit son at all in this movie.
No, they don't even show them. They don't have a scene together.
No, and
there's a bit with him and the uncle though, maybe. Do they meet at any point? I don't think they do, actually.
No, like he sends his fucking goons for it. So
there is a fair few comical goons in comical outfits.
There's like at least 7 like goons with flair in this movie.
That's what I mean. It's like they're like comic book characters. It's like I'm the bad guy in the trench coat, and we're the bad guys who look like twins and wear the same tracksuits.
So give it to David Ayer for like understanding that, like, all right, there's going to be a lot of Russians in this movie. Yeah. We got to give them each their own piece of personality so that it's satisfying when you see them die.
I mean, is it though?
I don't know if I would say like there's a kill in here that gonna be remembering a day from now.
Honestly, I feel like it didn't really know what tone it was going for, because like some of it was just like flat out ridiculous, but like if it just lent into that and was like, we're just gonna be ridiculous. Like I recently just finished watching the latest season of Reacher.
Yeah.
And that is the same sort of like, that's ridiculous that would happen. Yeah. And things are ridiculous things happen, but they're just like, we don't care. That's the world we're living in. Reacher is basically a superhero and he can do whatever the frick he wants. Don't worry about it. It's entertaining.
And I do quite like Reacher.
Yeah, I really like it. But like watching this, I was like, this is like a shit Reacher.
Yeah.
And like, that's a TV show with like not great actors in it, let's be fair. But then this is like, actors who I really like are in a movie version of it that's just not great.
Well, this one, like, the sets are not like particularly impressive.
What was we can get into spoilers on
the lighting and camera work was like pretty amateurish. Like
it really was. It really was.
You have to conclude that this all just kind of came together and was executed very quickly.
Yeah, it seems to be the case.
Not that they weren't trying to put together a quality product, but like you've seen like David Ayer do pretty good work in The Beekeeper.
Yeah.
So I just have to think that this stuff is all pretty rushed.
That's a good point, because The Beekeeper was very good and like
economical
and like miles better than this movie, I would say.
Yeah, well, it's
head and shoulders above this movie.
It's giving you like good set pieces and good memorable stunts and stuff. Like this one doesn't really have anything.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. It's like nothing. That's what I mean. It's like it's nothing you haven't seen before, and he's not even like that much of a badass. No, he's just very lucky.
It's like, what's your real name? Levin. It's like, okay.
Some of the like, I'm sorry, Mr. Stallone, but the script was pretty brutal. I don't know. Like some of the lines in it, I was like, oh my word.
I say,
go for another pass on that.
If you give me $50,000, I take a pass this script, it's 50% better. That's all I'm saying.
I think you could give it to anybody, to be fair. Like it was so by the
numbers. I would just do ChatGPT.
It was so raw. It was just like I feel like I wish I'd like had a notebook to just write down some of the lines, because it's just like that is so like first draft. Like then he says fuck you, and then he says no fuck you, and then he kills him. It's like, really, that's what you ended up on? Right.
He was really committing in that scene though. The what did you say the actor's name was?
Jason Fleming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is he from?
He's a British guy.
Okay.
He's in tons of British stuff.
Well,
you recognize
Brits play good Russian.
I'm trying to think he's one of those guys that pops up in everything. But yeah, and they always pull him out to be the Russian because he's kind of got a Russian-y look about him, and he can do a bit of an accent. so when I saw him, I was like, Jason Fleming, he's definitely playing a Russian mobster. I was like, oh, yep, there he is.
I thought that David Harbour was going to be the big bad Russian guy.
Yeah, I guess so, right?
And then they pull up, I'm like, oh, it's just his friend?
I was really, it's not spoilery, I guess, but I was really confused about, because we talked about how if they were going to say he was British or if they were going to say he's American, and they always do the same thing where they go, oh, he's mostly British, but also American.
It's like, I served my country of origin for 22 years.
Yeah, but I didn't really, but then like, obviously the script had to say that him and David Harbour were like old friends from their army days. But David Harbour's obviously American, and he was British, and then he had a patch that was half British, half American.
Yeah,
so I was like, is there some sort of story here where it's like a joint task force or something? Because it's
got to be something like Afghanistan or Iraq or whatever.
For 1 minute. Maybe I'm just ignorant about the armed forces and how they interact with each other, but I was just a bit like, it seems like this is overly complicated for no reason.
I think for the most part there aren't like international team ups of like Black Ops type stuff, but
you know, so who knows?
Because it's just like then you have to have two different command teams.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, maybe on a specialized mission or something, but they were making out like they were like
in the trenches.
Their whole service was together.
Well, I'm going to have to say that this character is not written to be British as well.
That's exactly what I thought. They just sort of judged it so that he was British. Because even in the opening credits, they kept showing like the British flag, and then it'd rip away and it'd be the American flag. And then I'd be like, what are they trying to say here? I'm so confused. I was trying to say, okay, we know he's got a British accent. Just go with it. He's British and American, and he's in the military. That's all you need to worry about.
I was going to say, like, he's got a pension from the British Army, and like I have to assume that the Garcia family's treating him pretty well.
I mean, he doesn't seem to have a lot of overhead, although they did kind of make out that he spent a lot of money on legal battles that weren't getting him anywhere.
Yeah.
So I guess he's just not very good at managing his money. Although he seems to lease probably 5 or 6 different vehicles at the same time.
He's just driving, whatever car.
He starts with an F-150 and then immediately shifts to a Dodge Ram for some reason. I think when he goes into like incognito mode. But then he switches out of that and has a motorcycle at one point, and then goes from the motorcycle to like a Charger. And I'm like, what is he doing?
Well, they did say they would pay $20,000 for expenses. And he spent it all on cars.
He's taking advantage of that one, I swear. That's crazy.
I need $20,000. I need to rent more cars.
Guess that paid for a lot of David Harbour's wage bill, I guess.
Yeah.
Looks like different car ads in this one because they're all brand spanking new. Not a bit of dirt on them. It's like, we're construction. I'm a gruff guy. I sleep in my F-150, but it is immaculately waxed within an inch of its life. It looks like it rolled off the floor, right? Like yesterday.
Okay. So do you have anything positive to say about this?
I mean, he kicks a lot of ass in it, and he kills a lot of people. But like you said, not in a very inventive way. That's tough. I don't want to be down on it. But...
The Stath does, just do a good job doing his thing.
Yeah, but I've seen him do it in many different better films. Honestly, I thought like outside of the Stath, I thought the acting was pretty poor.
Yeah.
Like all the Russians were just cartoonish, and the bad guy were all like mustache twirly villains.
Well, the one like super pervy guy was basically just the Penguin.
He pretty much was, right?
And he had no on-screen presence at all.
Hardly anyone did. And like the kidnapped girl, I thought she was doing her best, but like, oh my word, like nobody in this movie reacted or acted in a way that was realistic in any way, shape, or form.
It's like, oh, I'm being human trafficked. This is a bomber.
Right. Even like his daughter, who I've got to assume is like 7 or 8 years old. And she was like, oh, what's happened with Grandpa? It's like, oh, let's go save you from your home that just burned down. And your grandpa...
You're getting into spoilers.
Oh, shit, sorry. I was getting into spoilers. But she just like didn't seem affected by any of it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure she's traumatized forever.
Yeah, that's not a good childhood that she has.
No.
Well,
anyway, let's get into
why don't we take that as a cue?
Ruin it for everyone.
Before we head into spoilers, we're counting down on our final days of our Letterboxd giveaway. So if you want to win a year's free subscription to Letterboxd Patron, definitely check us out. First Look Final W on Letterboxd.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. It's like you don't even have to do anything. Just follow us, give us a review, and then you could win actual stuff. So check it out, guys.
There you go.
Read our many excellent reviews of movies that we haven't done podcasts on. Or Trevor's, I should say.
I'm capturing your views in there sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so spoilers.
Spoilers from now on. I'm going to have to edit that bit out and just stick it after. I did just go barreling right into it.
So we mentioned that this movie has sometimes a bit too much going on. So he shows up to his father-in-law's house, and they are having an Alice in Wonderland themed party. Yeah. He's dressed as like psychedelic Mad Hatter. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, there was really like this. That's what I mean. There's stuff in this, and you just like. I feel like they were just trying to lean into like the absurdity of it, like with the Russian characters when they were like, "Oh, I'll send my kids out of it," and it's like we've got Matrix and Mr. Frankenstein with the biggest guns you can find. I'm like, that is just absolutely ridiculous, and like I feel like sometimes it was like, oh, okay, lean into that and just make it ridiculous. I'll be on board with that, but then they're like, no, it's grounded because Jason Statham is gritty and grounded, and he's not being ridiculous.
Yeah, it was trying to have it a bit both ways.
Yeah, but to your point, it's like, what was that all about? And it's like, this is all my elaborate plan so that you'll punch me in the face. Like, all right. Oh, it's so weird.
Well, and we were talking earlier about how Levin Dixon, is that his name?
I don't know.
I don't fucking... Or no, maybe...
Levin something or other.
Levin Coates or something?
Something like that.
His plan falls apart because he parks in the bushes, like literally five fucking feet away.
It's like, a good job I've got this telescopic lens on my camera because I need to see 10 feet.
Like, could he not have just snuck there and stuck a camera there and then he monitors that stuff from off-site?
He could have done a lot of different things, man. It's just like, nothing that he did made any sense.
After he goes through all that rigmarole of setting up the drug connect, and then he meets...
I don't even know why he bothered doing
He meets Dimmy, and then he thinks, oh yeah, I'm going to look at that Johnny guy's phone. And he's like, oh, here's the
one that I've had since the start of the movie. How did he even unlock that, by the way?
I don't know. But he then finds the people who abducted her, and I'm like, motherfucker, you could have done this from the beginning and just gone straight to that guy.
Because that's your point. It's like he figures out, and he's like, what's his name? Viper or something. Viper. So
he's the best.
He figures out that Viper is the one who was watching her, and that he knows where to go to find him, which is that bar. He literally could have just rocked up and had a beer there until Viper showed up.
Yeah.
Just like forego everything else.
I like this. This is a cool hang.
Can I just say, the guy who they made the leader of that biker gang was the weirdly most miscast person I've ever seen in my life. He's like, yeah, this is the burly biker gang, and this is like, and then they had this big black dude, which I'm assuming they just wanted a big dude, that he could fight. But like, he didn't come off as even like gruff. He just came out as like a normal dude. And I just like he seemed like his acting was just so off. And it was like
he seemed like a sensitive soul.
Like, he really did, right? Like when he opened the door and he sat on that throne of like mufflers, I was just like, what is happening?
Oh, and the soundtrack doesn't know what to do.
The more we talk about this, the more I feel like it sounds like it's a good movie, but it's really just not. It should be, you know what I mean? Like,
it does have personality, but it's like disjointed personality.
Yeah, it should have just been more jokey. Like, he should have been throwing out more one-liners. He was too po-faced about the whole thing. He should have just been throwing out one-liners and get rid of his daughter so you don't have to worry about that. Just make him not give a shit. I think it would have been miles better.
Well, the fact that like they have a daughter in there, but then the daughter is never really in any danger.
No, she should have been.
I like it does take the stakes away from it because you look at True Lies, like the daughter has to get in danger in the climax, or it's not really that satisfying.
Yeah,
they were kind of trying to tie it into like, I'm a girl dad, so that's why I don't like the fact that this person I know was kidnapped.
Some of the lines in this were great. Like the best one was like, "You should go to the hospital. You'll be safe there." Like it's like the hospital is some fortress that the Russian mafia can't get to.
It's like, yeah, the Russian mafia is looking for people I care about. So obviously they went after my father-in-law. They didn't think about going after my daughter
because she was in school. They couldn't have got her from school.
And I'm also, yeah, government institutions are safe. And then
hospitals and schools.
I'm also going to drive my daughter with me to where I know that my father-in-law is in mortal danger.
Yeah, with potentially all these Russian mafia who are looking for my daughter, probably.
Pete and I both threw our fucking hands up. Like, what the hell are you doing, dude?
And he's like, you stay in the car while I go see what's happening. It's like, no, she's going to get kidnapped as well. What are you doing?
Have you never done a follow mission like in Resident Evil, dude? What are you doing?
Man. It's like, just stash your daughters somewhere else. And then he does stash her somewhere else. And to your point, he's like, I'm going to stash her here with David Harbour and all his guns and his sweet-ass bow and arrow that you can shoot even though he's blind because he's like Daredevil. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, there's going to be a huge, like, something's going to go down at this ranch. And, like, either they're all going to be there or at least David Harbour's going to, like, lay the smack down and look, like, make sure his daughter's okay. But no, they're just going to chill.
They had
do some
a
fishing.
Very good breakfast, it looked like.
Have breakfast and go see the chickens or whatever they were talking about. It's like, so what was even the point of any of that? I honestly
sequel stuff maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, because even when it ended and they had like that one Russian uncle who like I was pretty sure was like a vampire. I was like, is he supposed to be a vampire? Because he's just like very he's very pale and he just walks around like a vampire. And then he does that weird scream at the end.
Well, they kill everybody in the house, but how do you know that that's everybody in the house?
Yeah.
Statham lays down his gun and he's like, respect.
Wait, yeah, what was that about? It's like, that's for respect for an old friend. And I was like, who is that?
I think that was respect for the fact that the guy he took the gun from was also a veteran.
Okay, so why does that mean he has to leave the guy's gun behind?
So he, like, as far as I know, he's walking outside and he does not have a gun now.
Not his good gun, at least.
So the guy whose 2 sons died, he just watches this guy get on the back of a motorcycle and then he calls his...
like, there he goes.
He's like, oh, they're like 20 yards away. That's too far for me to do anything.
Like, part of me was like, is this movie like not over yet? Is there going to be another scene here at the cabin? Because like they set it up that like, okay, the big bosses say, well, you're not allowed to go after him. It's just a personal vendetta. And he's like, oh, I'm really upset. So I thought he was going to rock up with whatever dudes he had left and do like a last stand type deal. Yeah, because they were dragging it out. He's like, he wants to see his daughter, and I'm like, is this movie ended yet or what? And then it just ends. And I'm
that
like,
would have been at least somewhat satisfying.
Right?
Like, the main villain just, like, cries because he can't go after him? And that's how you end your movie?
Pretty much, right?
Why did you have David Harbour shoot the bow and arrow?
Yeah. I wonder if there's, like, a director's cut of this.
Like, what was that just so that we established that, okay, the daughter will be safe with him? Because that's really fucking unsatisfying.
That's pretty far-fetched as well.
Like, it's the opposite of Chekhov's gun. Like, it's...
Yeah. The more I think about this, the more it just seems quite stupid.
And, like, he goes to the breakfast diner to do, like, the fake crystal meth deal. Yeah. And he just parks right in front so they can see what his license plate was. They go into his car, which I have to assume has surveillance equipment inside.
No, it doesn't even lock it. It's fine. I love how they made a really pointed reference to the fact that he's not going to do anything with these drugs. He's going to get rid of them right away. Even the money he's not going to keep. I was like, all right, well, I don't really care. Like, we don't really care what he does with the drugs. Can we just move on?
Well, the one time he just throws it in the river, but they're still in the plastic bag. Like, some fucking kid's going to see that.
Some dog's going to eat that and die. Oh, man. Yeah. It was not good.
I was, like, sort of on board with the movie up until the point when Michael Peña goes up to him and says, here's $50,000. You have to find my daughter. He's like, no, I don't do this stuff anymore.
Yes, and then who I am anymore.
Then he goes away for a day, talks to David Harbour, and David Harbour says he should go find that girl. Then goes back to their house and says, you're my family. I have to go find her. Like, how unsatisfying is that?
Yeah, and I was a bit confused. I know you said, like, he spent all his expense money that they gave him on cars and stuff. But I was a bit confused. He's like, no, I'm not. It's not who I am anymore. And then he goes away and he comes back and goes, actually, you're like my family, so I'm going to find her. Have you got that money?
Yeah, it's a bit awkward at that part.
Like, oh, we're your family and you're going to do it because she's like a daughter to you, then you probably don't need us to pay you for that, right? And he's like, I've got all these vehicles I need to pay for.
Well, the one scene that he and the abducted girl have together before she gets abducted has to do a lot of work because it has to show that they have a connection and lay the seeds for that she's already pretty good at martial arts and stuff.
Oh, guys, they mentioned she had karate lessons, right?
Yeah, I had a karate lessons from my grandpa. My grandpa was a Green Beret.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And then, you have to really buy that they have an emotional connection.
Yeah.
And
they have, like, one conversation.
You do not get the sense that these two really talk to each other that much outside of work or anything.
Nope, not at all. Yeah, that's a great point.
So, like, we're supposed to feel emotionally invested in this, and I am just mad at him for jeopardizing his daughter's life.
I had the exact same reaction. I was like, dude, what are you doing? You have a daughter that you're trying to get closer to, and you're screwing it all up now.
That's why it kind of just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just too many personal dynamics going on here.
I think that every single thing that this movie does has been done before and done better is the sad part. Like, they even have the scene, and I think you went to the bathroom when this happened, but when he goes to take his daughter to David Harbour and his wife, and David Harbour's like, oh, you're gonna want to come and see us because you're gonna need some hardware, and he does that scene where he has the secret room that's full of guns.
Oh, seriously?
So he can equip himself.
Okay.
And so he has he puts in a code in his door and it opens up and he's like, yeah, here's all the cool weapons. And like he goes into this room and I was like, okay, well at least he's like, David Harbour must have a ton of cool weapons, right? And he goes into this room and the way it's shot is so weird because it doesn't show you the room, it just shows you what David Harbour points at. So he's like, so here we have this rifle, and it just shows you the rifle. And he goes, and here's an AK-47, and here's a chrome one. And he goes, and here's the piece de resistance, the gun that you used when you were in the army. And that's all he has in this little dinky room. So
it's just not, 4 weapons?
It's not even a good gun room. It doesn't even show you the room. It just points out like 4 guns. And I'm like,
that's hilarious.
Seriously? I'm like, you can't even do this scene, right? Like, jeez.
Yeah, this is the easy part.
Yeah, it's like, this is the getting suited up. Like, I'm not saying you have to do it like, I'm saying you have to do like a fully, like, I think he even calls himself the gun sommelier, which isn't that in John Wick?
Oh, really? Oh man, that's bad if that's the case. Yeah, I guess I missed a little flavor there.
Yeah, but I was like, wow, yeah, this was done a million times better in John Wick and many other movies, even Terminator 2.
Even Argyle had a better gun reveal.
Yeah, like come on. Yeah, so that's what I mean. It's like stuff like that. I'm like, wow, like it's almost like someone trying to do a movie like that and just not really knowing how to do it and just kind of sucking at it, which you would not expect from the people involved in this.
Yeah. Are we missing anything else?
You know what what was really freaking me out, and I don't know why, but I feel like they figured out that they could put a full moon in the background, and they had it in every single freaking shot in the woods. And I was like, why is that moon so large in every single shot? It's like, it's unnecessary. It doesn't even look real one bit. Like, at first I thought it was a giant spotlight.
Yeah, I'm guessing most of that stuff was day for night.
It must have been, but you don't need a massive fake moon. Like, even if you wanted to put a moon in the background, it doesn't have to be like the entire of the night sky is filled with a giant moon. Yeah. Like, that doesn't happen.
Well, you can certainly see where in this movie they just were cutting corners and just seeing what they could get away with.
True.
Which again just leads me back to they're just trying to slap this together as quickly as possible.
Like, what's going on with the police characters? They had those 2 police officers in that one cruiser, and they were like, "What are you doing?"
They're coming across some people pretty.
They're coming across a lot of people, and apparently they're the only police out there. And like the first time, I'm like, he smashes his motorcycle into their cruiser and trashes it basically. And they're like, oh, we're just going to pretend that we didn't see anything. I'm like, well, how the fuck are you going to explain that?
I guess they're going to say they hit a deer and the deer ran off.
I mean, I guess, but like, that's pushing like credulity there for a start. And then the second one is like, they find their kidnapped girl and they're like, we're just going to drive you to this creepy compound. And she's like, I'm so sorry about this. And you're just like, why are you doing this? Like, they don't even know that you have her. Just take her somewhere else. They're not going to do anything to you.
Well, I'm guessing that they called them, and that's why they were roaming around.
Maybe, and I guess they just wanted to get paid. Maybe they just like it.
It made it feel like that was like 30 seconds later or whatever, but I think it's probably trying to say it's like an hour later.
Yeah. But that was the thing, it's like they did all that, like she manages to escape from the 2 stupidest kidnappers ever. And
they were brother and sister, right?
Like, I think so. And then like really conveniently he's able to cut off all the duct tape from her hands. Like,
just instantly.
I'm pretty sure that's not how windows in cars smash. They don't leave jagged bits out that you can cut things on. They just shatter. We all know this.
Like I have a hard time cutting duct tape with like scissors, man. Like it's tough.
Freaking bugs.
Like it's a hard tape. Like it's that's what it's designed for.
All you need is a bit of rusty wire on a fence post, remember? Then
she did it like instantly.
Yeah. But like, they went through that whole thing of her escaping, and then it's just like, oh no, now they've got her again. It's like, so what was the point of that?
Yeah, like I guess like it's trying to show that, you know, she's not just a victim, she's capable or whatever, but like it's a little bit unnecessary too, because you know, you can be very capable and still be kidnapped. Like it
didn't make a lot of sense that she managed to survive that whole movie. She was way more trouble than it was worth for anybody, what it would seem. Like, she immediately jumped and bit the guy in the face, which for some reason they didn't show. And then they were like, "Oh, she bit him in the face. Like that sucks." And it's like, well, wouldn't you just like kill her right there? It's like, no, we're gonna drive her around for a bit.
Yeah, I want her dead 2 days from now.
Yeah, make sure she's able to crash our car and fuck everything up and play the piano for a while, and then maybe we'll shoot her.
So first, the guy because they paid $300,000 to kidnap and deliver this girl or whatever, right?
Yep.
She bites his face, and then Demi says, "You cost me $300,000."
Right.
And then later, that same guy calls and says, "I want a second date. I'll pay you $1 million."
Yeah, it could have been like, give you $20. It would have been like, okay.
Like Jesus, you're a bad negotiator, pervy guy.
Well, maybe there's like a set menu, and it's like $1 million gets you. We'll tie her up, and you can cut her up into pieces.
A set menu. Yeah, it did. It was going like a hostile direction. But the way that guy delivered that line, he's like, "I want to see what your insides look like." I'm like, "No, you don't. I don't believe you."
Oh my word! The acting was brutal.
You don't seem like you want to cut her open. Come on.
Yeah,
the whole tauntaun.
He was not intimidating at all.
No,
none of them were. Even the girl that they tried to make intimidating by making her just like crazy, but it just made her seem absolutely stupid. She's like, "I'm going to pretend to shoot you with my gun because I'm going to scare you," and I'd be like, "You're obviously not going to freaking shoot me, are you? You didn't bring me all the way here and buy me a burger just to shoot me for no fucking reason, you stupid woman."
Well, like that scene almost works in that it shows that they're like totally not actual serious people. But then that kind of backfires, because if these are just the fuck ups of the Russian mafia, why was it so hard for Statham to track them down? Like he's like, "This rock is right from the top," and he's just like picking off the capos of the Russian mafia, and they're like, "No, man, it's just this one guy's fucking son and his 2 dumb henchmen." Like,
you know, talking of the tone being a bit weird, like, and I think I saw you react as well. It's like he went from 0 to 100 so fast with the first guy he catches.
Oh, it's so funny.
He goes to the guy's apartment. He's like, "I need to find this girl," and the guy's like, "I don't even fucking know who that is. I work behind the bar." And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna make you tell me." And they just cut to. He's just literally waterboarding the guy. It's his first option, and it's like, wow, that's a pretty
man, and it was
dramatic way to go there, Jason.
It was not like it was not anti-torture, this movie, certainly.
No, not at all. But he's doing that, and he's not even realizing that people are coming in the freaking apartment.
He just left the fucking door open,
and then when they do come in, he just immediately gets them all killed, and it's like, dude, like, how about like don't kill everyone?
Like, why didn't he just like put the towel he was using to waterboard the guy in the guy's mouth so he doesn't fucking scream out?
Could have done it. It could have done multiple things.
And
he's just not very good at his job, I think.
In that apartment sequence, it makes no sense that he wasn't shot, because they are all point blank range. They're all firing at him.
Oh, there's a million times in this movie where he should have been shot.
He wasn't even grazed.
Like, he was shooting everybody like precision every single shot, and everybody else in the whole place was just like stormtroopers, just shooting like randomly into the floor or whatever. Especially in that last sequence when he goes to the farmhouse, he's like, "There's no way this guy's doing through that." Well, why did the guy on the motorbike drive through the window?
That was so funny.
Did the guy drive through the window and he just does it? And I'm like, what are you
I gotta give the movie credit at that point.
It was like, wow, fair play. Just go through the window then. No, not the door. No, okay, window it is.
If I was the leader of that biker gang, I'd have to think at some point I've made some smart decisions in my career. That's why I'm this age, kind of in this position, in a young man's game.
His best decision was the throne. He's like, "I need a throne."
But he's like, this is all going to trace back to us. So let's go fucking storm.
See, I read that more as like, we're going to be in trouble with the Russians for causing this to happen. So we're going to go clean up the mess.
But that's what I mean. But like, I would feel more like, this is a shitstorm. I'm going to sit this one out and try to explain that, like, this is all Dini's idea from the beginning. Right. Like, I feel like that's a better strategy than going in guns a-blazing. He seems to know that guy's going to storm the compound before anyone else at the compound seems to know that it's happening.
That's also very true. They get there mighty quick. Maybe it's just very
good
close.
Intel.
Just very close. It was next door.
Yeah.
Like, I think I can hear him shooting next door. We should go check it out. Yeah, the geography of this movie is another thing that doesn't make a lot of sense, but hey-ho.
Yeah, it's really bad. Do you think he's going to go back working that construction job now?
Oh, yeah. I think he's going to get made, like, site foreman.
I think he already was foreman, right? Like,
yeah, but maybe they'll let him sit in the cabin a bit more.
I feel like there's not enough for all those family members to do stuff in there.
I keep forgetting parts of this movie because it felt like it was just different movies, because the first time he goes into like attack mode, when it does the whole like, I'm going to zoom in and be like,
oh man, that was so funny.
It was like, oh, I'm triggered.
That musical cue there was just so funny.
Oh, it was amazing. It was like,
but the movie was not trying
like
to
a
be
mallet.
Like, it was trying to be funny at times, but like it was not trying to be funny in that moment.
It was like
it's like that was the badass moment.
It was like just whiplash from like flipping back and forth between like absolute ridiculous things happening and then like serious working man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did it, like, you saw his hands, he had like calluses all over it. Like, I assume that's a bit of makeup because Jason Statham hasn't fucking done.
Maybe he's just like really, really dissipated into the role and was just like twisting bars with his hands for months before they film this.
All right, last nitpicky thing, but like when he frees her from those chains, he frees her with a fucking sledgehammer. Yeah. Like, that is not the right tool for this.
No, twice. Like, he sledgehammers a pipe, which causes it to explode for some reason. I don't know. It's like,
yeah, where were the wires in that pipe?
It's like literally like stuff explodes. And then he just like explodes them with his sledgehammer to chop them in half.
Like, maybe you could get that after like 100 swings with that thing.
And then when they're leaving and she turns around and flips the bird to the room.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my word. Like, what are you trying to do here?
I'd love to see like what like the test audience scores are for this movie.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, have her go back and flip it off. Then people will find that satisfying.
Wouldn't that be cool? Because she's an edgy young person.
Yeah. Well, so
I also kind of figured the scene where they go out clubbing, I was like, this is what like boomers think that young people going clubbing do.
Well, it's funny because she goes to her dad and is like,
line dancing at one point.
I need like $10,000 from you to fund my night out with the girls, and they go to like the fucking skeeziest places ever. Like, what is like the high cost of this night out?
I forgot about that because like the first place they go, they're literally line dancing, all dancing in time, like it's a TikTok video.
Yeah.
And then it skips to like they're in an Irish bar and everyone's a guy playing the flute and they're like doing Irish jigs. And I'm like, nobody has a night out like this.
Yeah. Well, and she is like so dressed and proper.
That's what I mean.
Like she's she's clearly like the mother hen of the group. Yeah. But she's also like, I made a spreadsheet for things for celebrating my first semester.
Yeah, to your point, then like, and the last bar we're going in is this murder bar where nobody ever gets kidnapped.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. A long fucking creepy walk to the bathroom in that place.
Yeah, oh my word.
Okay, anyways, lots of problems with this one.
Not the best.
This is one, if you've made it this far, this is one to just, watch on streaming at home while you're doing other stuff.
They put it on Prime, you can throw it on, but don't just watch The Beekeeper instead, or just watch Reacher. That's on Prime.
So we rate things at a 6.5 on this podcast. Where'd you rate this, Pete?
Oh, I don't know, man. Maybe like a 2.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah, I can't in good conscience give it more than a 2.
Yeah, but that being said, like I did have fun. Like it was kind of teetering on the so bad it's good, but not quite there.
No, I agree.
Like,
yeah, I mean, I think maybe because we were sat in a theater as well, I was a bit like, I just want this to be done now. I want to go.
Yeah, that was my first time in D-Box. We didn't mention that. Like I thought it was like, I probably would have liked this movie less if it wasn't for the D-Box. I think it was a plus to the experience.
Yeah, I don't think it worked super well. It kind of like only seemed to work when the cars were.
It was definitely tuned to the cars. Cars and bullets. It was very tuned.
Which I guess was the only thing in this movie, to be fair.
I did feel like the rumbles like handled like direction well. Like it captured like the direction of the cars and the characters and stuff.
D-Box is pretty good.
How much extra is it?
I have no idea. We'll have to look into it. I think it's I don't think it's cheap, to be honest.
Okay, well, probably not worth it.
Depends on how much disposable cash you've got, guys. You want to splash out? I mean, I'm all for giving the cinema businesses money, so yes, buy the most expensive seat you can find and go see the Working Man twice. But in reality, don't bother doing that.
All right, well, tune in next week. We are talking Hundreds of Beavers.
Yes.
I'm very excited to show you this one.
We're not doing a new one next week, which we do from time to time if we feel like.
This is new as of like 2024.
Yeah, so it's not like being released next week.
So no, this is just one, like, because it's a bit of a empty-ish schedule for releases until we get into April.
We've done it before. We'll throw in a different movie every now and
then. And I just really want to show you this one.
I really want to see it.
And I think that this is like, I said it on our Oscar catch-up episode, but I think it's the best comedy of the last 10 years. And I'm putting it up on a pedestal, and I want to see you knock it down.
I didn't remember you saying 10 years, so now I'm pumped to see it because that's a lofty goal.
It's really good. It's a masterpiece, perfect movie.
Well, don't overplay it. I'm going to have super high expectations.
I'm overplaying it.
Okay, well.
I was talking to Ben last night, and he said it was really great.
So there you go. If Ben says it's great, then you know it's legit.
I was pumping him up for the whole time too. So
there you go. All right. Well, now I'm in. I was already in, but now I'm in.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Son of a bitch.
So that's our feature for next week, and we're also wrapping up our stuff on Aardman, and Pete and I will figure out our shit and then get back to you on what's the next project.
It'll be a great one. If you want to throw some suggestions in, feel free to let us know. You can email us. You can drop us a comment on the episode or any episode or any of our multiple social media posts.
We might want to do like because I have to look at the timing. We might want to do like a short one to go into the before
right
big, because you remember what we were talking about, right? For the bigger one. Okay.
Yeah, I remember.
You stop talking like you don't remember it.
Well, I just didn't want to say it if we end up doing it.
Okay. Well, yeah, we might have time for a short one. If folks are listening to this, let us know.
There's always time for a short one.
Exactly. Okay.
Anyway.
Anything else, Pete?
No, I think that's about it for this week. So all the working men out there. That'll be it until next time. That's the final word.